So where did you go when the fire is low? You're feeling unnerving when you're feeling no burning.
What's up, everybody? Noah Kaser back here for another episode of Noah Kaser Live. Let's get right into it. I got 3 reviews. One for the new John Cena and Awkwafina and Simu Liu movie on Amazon Prime, Jackpot, Alien Romulus review, and the brand new Netflix action comedy with Halle Berry and Mark Wahlberg called The Union. Then we're going to talk about The Crow potentially being a box office flop, Beetlejuice having a big open weekend. We're going to look at those projections as well as the big news that Colin Firth is joining Steven Spielberg's new film, as well as the box office results, the Netflix top 10, and what's coming out this weekend in theaters and on streaming. So let's get right into it with the first topic up, going to be my review of Jackpot. Jackpot is the brand new action comedy with John Cena and Awkwafina on Amazon Prime. I was very excited for this one, so let's get right into it. In the near future, a grand lottery has been established to catch that. Let's try that one more time. Let's do this one more time. Yes, I know I'm live. I don't care. Jackpot. Jackpot is the brand new action comedy starring John Cena and Awkwafina, also co-starring Simu Liu on Amazon Prime. I was very excited about this, so let's get right into it. In the near future, a grand lottery has been established. The catch? Kill the winner before sundown to legally claim their multi-billion-dollar jackpot. When Katie Kim, played by Awkwafina, mistakenly finds herself winning the jackpot with the winning ticket, she reluctantly joins forces with amateur lottery protection agent Noel Cassidy, played by John Cena, who must get her to sundown in exchange for a piece of her prize. This also stars some little bit of cameos from Sean William Scott, and Simu Liu is in here as well. This is an action comedy that does work on some levels. Is it a great film by any means? No, it's not a great film by any means. This is just pure fun. It does have fun with its concept. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. The action is well shot. Some of the comedy does hit. The issue is it's a little bit too long for its own good at an hour and 40-ish minutes. This easily could have had 10, 15 minutes cut down. There's no real stakes here. You don't really feel any stakes. You know where this movie is going. It doesn't do anything new with this type of a story. But what it does do, however, is it delivers a fun action film with good chemistry between John Cena and Awkwafina. I didn't know I needed this movie, but I needed this movie. This is exactly the movie I needed to watch before I went to go see Alien Romulus, a fun R-rated action film that has goofy action, but yet surprisingly good, well-shot action that has a lot of good effects to it. Now, the action in this film is not the only good thing about it. The comedy does have some beats to it as well. John Cena has great comedic timing, as does Awkwafina. Awkwafina is one of the funniest people working in Hollywood right now. If you look at her stand-up, she's very funny. If you look at her films, it's based on the screenplay. But this movie really does work. I loved this for exactly what it was. The issue is the pacing is a bit slow. A lot of the action is it's very well shot, but the comedy is not all that good. The comedy is very hit and miss. So, Jackpot, not much to say about this, but I did want to get my thoughts on it. Jackpot is a fun little action film on Amazon Prime. Not the best movie in the world, but for what you're getting, it's not that bad either. I know it sounds like a great review, but for an action comedy on Amazon Prime, after we just got My Spy, which was all right, this is better than that, and I'm going to wind up giving Jackpot 3 out of 5 stars. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited for Jackpot? Are you going to watch it? Are you a John Cena or an Awkwafina fan? And yes, Simu Liu is in here. I don't have much to say on his character because his character is barely in the film. He's relevant. He's in the film. His character is not all that well written. There's a lot of story elements and a lot of just screenplay moments that needed to be rewritten. So there's my review of Jackpot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you going to watch this? But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So next up, we're going to go into the next review, which is going to be for the brand new Alien film. Now, I have to preface this. I've only seen Alien and Alien Covenant. So this is going to be my review for Alien Romulus. I was very excited to see Alien Romulus. This is a it's a sequel to the original, and it's a prequel to Aliens. So in the franchise, this is technically the second film. So while scavenging in the deep ends of a desolate space station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe. So these young people, this group of young space colonizers go in, they steal a spaceship, and it is just so happened to be inhabited by facehuggers and a xenomorph or two. Now, this does have some issues, but this was a fun film. It's a very well-acted, well-written film in spots. It's well-acted pretty much throughout the entire film. It just does too much of the hey, do you remember Alien? Do you remember this scene from this movie? Do you remember this scene from Alien? It did a little bit too much of Alien praising and banking off of the fact that it is an Alien sequel. With that being said, Kaylee Spaney does a fantastic job in this, as does David Johnson. David Johnson as Andy. Andy and Rain as these two friends do a fantastic job. Now, there is one line that is said by Andy that I thought was just so poorly delivered, and it was not the right line to be delivered at that point. Isabella Merced is good in this film. Her character is not needed. She is not needed. There are moments where she's kind of just completely forgot about in the film. Isabella Merced does a good job, but with your character being kind of useless for the majority of the film until we get to the tail end, and you don't do much with her subplot, this movie really needed more with Andy and Rain, because these are the characters, they're not likable. So you're cheering for them to get killed. You want to see these guys get killed. And that's what they want you to do, but you're not giving us interesting characters. Your performances are good, but your performances are completely not what I care about. I want good, likable characters. And if I don't care about you, yeah, I'm going to care about you dying, but I don't want to see everybody die in this film. I want to see good practical effects, and that's what Alien Romulus gives me. Good practical effects with a great use of CGI, particularly using gravity in a way that zero gravity in a way I was not expecting them to use it. That was a very well done shot, very well done scene, great tension built there, good acting, and killer special effects. Now, the atmosphere in this film, the atmospheric horror, this works. With this being an Alien film, you know it's going to be slow. Yes, they're building these characters. However, when your characters are not likable, if they're not likable, then your movie kind of just builds to nothing. Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson are the main two characters you have to care about, and luckily you do. There's just a moment here and there where I think that David's performance was a little bit subdued and a little bit just kind of throwing it in a little bit, like not knowing what to do with this piece of dialogue and how to deliver. Now, Fede Alvarez does a great job building the tension, building the horror. However, this movie's just a little too slow. I thought you could have tightened this up by a good 15-20 minutes within the first half hour. Get them to the ship a little bit quicker, get them in space a little bit quicker, then I would have cared. And once they're in space, it does start to feel like Alien in a way. There's one very awful piece of CGI in here involving a certain character that I'm not going to get into because nobody else is getting into it, because that goes into spoilers. Very awful. Looked just bad. It looked completely awful. Now, it's slow. Some of the dialogue is not all that well written or well delivered, particularly by the character of Andy, but Andy's a nice character. I liked his bond with Rain. The practical effects are great. Some people are complaining about the third act. I thought that's where that movie really picked up. I thought Alien Romulus picks up right after we get to the third act. Now, was I expecting it to go one way? Not really. I was not expecting where it went. In a way I was, but I didn't think that they would go that way with Isabella Merced's character. I wanted more from her character, and instead she's kind of just thrown away for the majority of the film. But what they do with Isabella Merced in this film, involving her subplot and how it ends up, I thought that was very well done, and I thought that was very well handled in the script. Yes, it does go a little bit over the top, but I loved that. The last half hour, oh, I loved the last half hour of this film, particularly one of the best jump scares I have seen in years, involving a alien of sorts. I'm not going to go into spoilers, but an alien of sorts. That was very well done. I enjoyed this film, don't get me wrong. It's just a bit too slow, and there's moments that could have been trimmed. Some of the dialogue is a little bit bad. A lot of the characters aren't even likable, and you don't even care about the characters because they're not all that well developed when you need to mainly focus on your main two characters, Andy and Rain. There's my review of Alien Covenant. Of Alien Romulus. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm going to end up giving Alien Romulus 3.5 out of 5 stars. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think about Alien Romulus? Are you excited for it? What did you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So next up, we're going to go into the last review for this show, and that's going to be for the brand new Netflix action comedy starring Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry, The Union. The Union is now available on Netflix, and I was very optimistic about this film because Netflix does a decent job with the action comedy. We have had a couple instances where we've had a few bad ones and a couple good ones. Let's get into this. The Union is all about a New York construction worker who goes from regular guy to aspiring spy when his long-lost high school sweetheart, played by Halle Berry, recruits him for an espionage mission. This one also stars Jackie Earle Haley and J.K. Simmons. This movie is pretty mediocre. It's pretty mediocre. I wanted more. I wanted more from this film. This movie does have some bits of comedy that do work. There is some good chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry in a romantic sense. You can tell in the script that they were supposed to be these high school sweethearts and things didn't work out, and they do a good job of building that relationship back up. We don't get a kiss in the film, which I really did enjoy. It gave me a bit of like a Twisters feel in a way, where they were building the romantic chemistry, but we didn't get the ultimate payoff. That's going to bother people because of how big these two stars are, and I think they do want a sequel. Are they going to get it? Maybe. But this movie, it's fine. It's fine. The action is well shot. It's just this story is so formulaic. You know how this is going to go. There's no stakes to this. I didn't feel sorry for the characters. I didn't feel any stakes for our characters hardly whatsoever in this film. It's a well-shot, well-acted film with decent action and a nice little screenplay that doesn't deliver anything new to the genre, but the action scenes are well shot. Some of the bits of comedy did work, and Mark Wahlberg and Halle Berry do have decent chemistry. J.K. Simmons is great in this. I wanted a lot more of him, but then again, he's J.K. Simmons. Why wouldn't you want more of J.K. Simmons? A quick little review for The Union. I wanted more from this. If you want to check it out on Netflix. It's only an hour and some odd minutes. It's only like an hour and a half. I think an hour and 36 minutes without the end credits. But I thought it was fine. It's just mediocre at best. Nothing I'm going to recommend you, but overall, I'm going to say check it out if you're interested. I'm going to give The Union I'm going to be nice and give it 3 out of 5 stars. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited for The Union? Are you going to watch The Union with Halle Berry and Mark Wahlberg? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. So next up, we're going to go into the very first topic of today's show, and that's going to be for a movie that's going to ultimately flop next weekend. There we go. And that's going to be, and that's going to be for The Crow. The Crow is going to be a box office flop, and this shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, because The Crow is not all that well regarded anyways. It's not a well-beloved film. People know about it. They talk about it, but it's not regarded as one of the biggest hits of all time. It's mainly known because of the sad fact of what happened to the lead actor, really. But this is coming from Slash Film. The 2024 Crow remake may not top the original movie's box office opening from 30 years ago. Coming down here, here's what Slash Film has to say after it stops moving. After years and years of waiting, the Crow remake is finally heading our way next weekend, hailing from Lionsgate and director Rupert Sanders of Snow White and the Huntsman, which I actually like that film. This one will help close out the summer season with an R-rated bang. The question is, will this be a loud bang or rather a muted bang? Unfortunately, for all involved, it's almost certainly going to be closer to the latter. This Crow is not going to be flying. This Crow is not going to be flying very high, it seems. The long-awaited reimagining of James O'Bare's graphic novel is looking at an opening weekend in the awful range of $7.5 to $11 million range, according per Box Office Theory. This is not great. That's not great for a movie with a production budget in the $50 million range. Granted, that's cheap for an R-rated comic book movie. Nevertheless, it's going to have a long way to get to anywhere near profitability, even on the high end of those estimates. If it comes in on the low end, it's going to be exceedingly tough sledding. Rather remarkably, the original version of The Crow from 1994 opened to $11.7 million. That film finished with just over $50 million domestically. As it stands, the remake is poised to fall short of that opening number. And that doesn't even account for inflation. At the very least, it's not going to bomb for the record books like Borderlands has been for Lionsgate thus far. The issue is this is not going to be helped by any marketing, because I've seen zero marketing for this. I've seen more marketing. I have seen more marketing for Blink Twice. I've seen more marketing for the religious film from Affirm Films and the Kendrick brothers, The Forge, on TV. I've seen nothing for The Crow. Nothing at all. I want more. I want more from this. This is so disheartening for me to say this, because I want Bill Skarsgård to do well. I love Bill Skarsgård. He's great. The Crow is not going to make money. I think what's going to make money this weekend is probably going to be The Forge, because I've looked at some screenings specifically in the Orlando area, because my theater near me it doesn't have any screenings for it at the Cinemark or at my local theater. So The Forge is going to make money. Blink Twice is going to make a little bit of money. The Crow is going to flop. Are you a fan of The Crow? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you excited to go and see The Crow in theaters? Did you even know there was going to be a Crow movie coming out? It's been in development hell for a long time. It took them years to get it going, but it looks like it's sadly going to flop. I hope the movie is at least good. If not, then, well, it's not a good movie, and we move on to the next film. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. Next up, we're going to go into the next topic, and that's going to be for the new film starring Jenna Ortega and Michael Keaton, along with returning Winona Ryder and Catherine O'Hara. Beetlejuice has huge box office projections. This is massive news. I love the first film. I didn't love it the first time I saw it, but I loved it even more the second and third times I saw it. So this is coming to us from Deadline. Beetlejuice, Jenna Ortega, and Michael Keaton's sequel hits tracking $65 million to $80 million in early box office update. So, NRG just reported an $80 million opening weekend for Beetlejuice. Previously, the long-awaited Warner Bros. Sequel to the 1988, I almost said Steven Spielberg. That's the next topic. That'd be quite a different movie. Tim Burton directed haunted comedy starring Michael Keaton landed on the 3-week tracking this morning with a lookout of $65 to $75 million. But don't be surprised if it does. If it does more, then there's too much fuel in this building box office bonfire. Recently, box office history has shown that these long-delayed sequels, i.e. Star Wars The Force Awakens, Bad Boys for Life, Top Gun Maverick have had theatrical potential. Note, no one is seeing Beetlejuice in the vicinity of Force Awakens or Maverick yet. One astute industry source remarked, "This looks bigger than Despicable Me 4." Let's read that again. One astute industry source remarked, "This looks bigger than Despicable Me 4." That pick posted a 3-day opening of $75 million and a 5-day total of $122.6 million last month, and has banked $332.6 million domestically and $808.5 million worldwide. Coming down here a little bit more, the movie, which also headlines Wednesday star Jenna Ortega as attractive with women over 25 first and under 25 next. You'll remember Ortega also propelled Scream 6 to a box office to a franchise domestic record opening of $44.4 million. Now, this is something to note here because I don't think anybody expected this to be a massive hit like this. Not at 65, 75, potentially $80 million. Could this get to the $100 million range? I don't know. I'm already seeing a ton of marketing for it. The trailers look good. It looks like it has the Beetlejuice feel. But this looks good for it. Reading forward, Beetlejuice is 23 days out from release, debuting on that magical post-Labor Day weekend, first frame in September, which Warner Brothers has turned into a hotbed for horror movies in recent years with titles like It and the Nun franchise. Beetlejuice will have its world premiere at the Venice Film Festival opening night pick, and the bullhorn on the film will grow louder every single time we hear about it. So looking at this, the original movie opened to $8 million and ended its domestic run with $74.7 million. It became a huge hit in the home market, in the home aftermarket, in the salad days of the video cassette era. So this is not going to top It Chapter 2 or It, but this does look to be a massive hit for Warner Brothers. I'm stupidly excited for this film. I'm very excited to see this movie. I'm not going to kid you. Beetlejuice looks like a very fun film. Do I think it's going to be good? We'll see. I'm a little worried because it is about 30 years later. It's almost 40 years later. It's going on 36 years since the original. That can be a good thing or a bad thing. We will see. I plan on being there opening night for it, and I'll have you guys and I'll have my review for you guys on my show that Friday. But what do you think about this? Are you surprised that Beetlejuice is going to have that big of an opening like me? I was not expecting that high of an opening weekend for it, but hey, surprises happen every single time, every single so often at the box office. But Beetlejuice looks to be a massive hit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. Going into the last topic, we're going to go into this next. So, Colin Firth is joining the new Steven Spielberg film. This is going to be good for them as well, because if you look at this, Colin Firth is an Academy Award nominated actor and Academy Award winning actor. This is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter. Colin Firth early talks board Steven Spielberg's next movie. The Oscar winner would join Emily Blunt in the film from Emblem and Universal with a May 15th, 2026 release date. And apparently, Activia really wants you to buy their product. Let's take a look at this. So, Steven Spielberg looks to add yet another big name to his next film after Emily Blunt started talks to join the Emblem and Universal event movie. Kingsman actor Colin Firth is in early talks to board Spielberg's unnamed feature. The Hollywood Reporter has confirmed the movie project, based on a story by Spielberg, is written by David Coep, who has worked with the director on Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic World, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, War of the Worlds, and Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Universal has dated the film for a May 15th, 2026 release date, theatrical release, marking Spielberg's first summer offering in a decade following the BFG in 2016. No plot details are available for the project, but it is described as an event film, a genre the filmmaker helped invent with features such as Jaws and Indiana Jones. So, adding to that, Colin Firth is not really a new name to Hollywood. He has been a massive name in the industry for a long time. This is what he's done. This is what he's done. Let's take a look at this, all right? Taking a look at his award nominations, this is why it's good. Steven Spielberg, probably the greatest filmmaker of all time. Not my favorite, but probably the greatest filmmaker of all time. If you look at his box office records, if you look at his filmography, the best filmmaker of all time. This is what this man has done. He's been nominated for 2 Academy Awards and won 1 for The King's Speech, which he deserved. One of the best films that I think I've ever seen. It's a comfort film. It's a quiet film. And it's basically all dialogue. It's about this king who has a stutter, and he goes to a speech therapist played by Jeffrey Rush. And it's a fantastic film. I think that movie deserved a lot of Oscars, and it won a lot of Oscars. It won Best Actor, and I believe it won Best Picture, and it had a ton of other nominations. He was also nominated for A Single Man in 2010 for Best Actor. The BAFTAs, he's been nominated 5 times, 2 for television, and 3 for films. Best Supporting Actor for Bridget Jones's Diary in 2002, 2010 A Single Man, in 2011 he won for A Single Man and The King's Speech in 2010 and 2011. So back to back. He also won 1 Golden Globe for The King's Speech. He was nominated for A Single Man, and he was nominated for The Staircase. The Emmy Awards, he was also nominated for Conspiracy and The Staircase. He's won 3 Screen Actors Guilds. Well, I'm not going to say he's won 3 Screen Actors Guilds. He's won 3 Best Casts. 3 Outstanding Casts in a Motion Picture. Sorry, 2. 2 for cast, 1 for role. 2 casts for Shakespeare in Love and The King's Speech, and then Outstanding Actor in a Leading Role for The King's Speech. Critics' Choice, Best Actor nominated for A Single Man and The King's Speech. He won it. Emily Blunt, Oscar-nominated actress. There's nothing wrong with adding talent. These 3, I think it's going to be a fantastic film. I can't wait to see what this movie is ultimately about. Are you excited about Colin Firth? Colin Firth joining the new Steven Spielberg film, also starring Emily Blunt. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and let me know your thoughts. So next up, we're going to go into our regularly scheduled topics every single show. We're going to look at the box office results. We're going to look at the Netflix top 10 and what's releasing next week this week in theaters and on streaming. It looks like we have a comment here, and the comment comes from Jay. Hi, how you doing? Welcome in. It's great to have you here. Hello. We're going to go into our next topic, and that is going to be the box office results. So the box office results are really, really good. They're going to be good this week, too, because it looks like Alien Rama is going to have a good opening at the box office. So we're going to take a look at this. This is what the box office looks like according to the numbers. Deadpool & Wolverine earns another $53 million at the global at the domestic box office, as well as It Ends With Us with $50 million, giving Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively the 2 biggest films in the world right now. Twisters earned another $15 million. Borderlands bombed at 8.6. Despicable Me earned another 7.9. So taking a look at this, Deadpool & Wolverine has earned more money since we looked at the box office, and it's already at $1,085 million. It Ends With Us has grown even more, from $80 million worldwide to $103 million worldwide. This is a massive hit. We're obviously going to get more Colleen Hoover films coming up because this film was a massive hit. Twisters is still earning money. It is at $316 million. That's more than I thought it would. It's not losing as much money as I thought it would from Deadpool and Wolverine. Borderlands, it's not doing very well at all. It's not even going to crack the $50 million mark. It's at $18.8 million. Despicable Me 4 is going up there at $812 million. $812 million. I think it's going to end with about $850 million. And Inside Out 2 is still going. And it is at $1.57 million. It still needs another just about $50 million to beat The Lion King. The 2019 Lion King. Then it'll be the biggest anime movie of all time. At this pace, it could potentially do it. It depends on how well it does overseas still. It depends on how well it does this weekend. It's automatically going to earn, I think, another... I want to say it's going to earn another $3 million? $3 million here. If it can keep going, and it still has another... we are in its... What number week are we in? It is in its... I want to say it's 7th, 8th weekend at the box office. I can't quite remember. But there's that. There's a look at the box office, and we'll just take a quick look at this as well. Good opening weekend for Alien. Alien looking to deliver another good weekend in theaters. Alien Romulus looks set to give us another busy weekend in theaters. The sci-fi actioner is within a shot at opening at $50 million. And Deadpool Wolverine and It Ends With Us will be battling it out for the second spot. Take a look at this. This is what it looks like. There's the projected opening at $47 million. Prometheus opened at 51. Alien Covenant opened at 36.1. So, looking at that, I don't think that's very bad at all. Skincare is another film that's going to be out this weekend. It's not playing in any of my cinemas. It's playing in a small limited run. And so is My Penguin Friend, a small little indie film. So here's what it looks like is going to be the projections for it. Alien Romulus might open, is predicted this weekend at $49.3 million. Deadpool Wolverine at $34.3 million. And It Ends With Us at $26.5. What I think is really interesting is that Twisters might be taking a 29% drop. Let's take a look at this. 36, 47, 29, 20. Borderlands taking a 50% drop, 54% drop, potentially, maybe even more. 44, this is crazy. 29% projected projected drop for Inside Out 2. That could potentially wind up being a phenomenal time for it to be there. Now, Inside Out 2 is still playing in a lot of theaters at 1,850 theaters. I think it's going to be a really interesting weekend. I can't wait to see what happens, and I will report on the box office next Tuesday. So, next up, we're going to go into one of my favorite topics every single week, and that is going to be what is number one on Netflix. So, we're going to take a look at the movies first. And the movies look like this. So, let's take a look at the Netflix top 10. So, the Netflix top 10 looks exactly like this. Number one, I don't know why. I don't know why it's number one, but number one on Netflix is The Emoji Movie. Number two is Night School. Number three is Trolls Band Together. Number four, The Lorax. Number five, Inside the Mind of a Dog. Number six, Jack Reacher, Never Go Back. Number seven, Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie. Number eight, Jack Reacher. Number nine, White Chicks. And number 10, The Cat in the Hat. Number one will be dethroned this weekend. I think The Emoji Movie might bump down to number I want to say number 2 or 3, because we do have a little movie called The Union, which I just reviewed for you guys. So the next one is going to be what's in the top 10 in the TV shows. Well, number 1, the new season of Emily in Paris. I will be watching that hopefully before we get the next part, so I can review all of it for you guys and review the next part. Number 2 is American Murder, Lacey Peterson. Number 3 is Matt Rife, Lucid, a crowd work special. Number 4, The Umbrella Academy. Number 5, Love is Blind UK. Number 6, Fire Country. Number 7, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Number 8, Prison Break. Number 9, Average Joe. And number 10, Blue Ribbon Baking Championship. So there is the Netflix top 10 for you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What are you watching on Netflix? Are you excited about what is on Netflix? And do you think that the Emoji Movie is still going to be in the top 2 or 3? Maybe even the top 1 by next weekend? I don't know. But we're going to go into the last topic before we end this show. And that's going to be what's releasing this weekend in theaters and on streaming. So let's get right into that. This is going to be a bit of a bigger week. A bit of a bigger week for what's releasing in theaters and on streaming. So let's take a look at this. And this is going to be from releases.com. And releases.com says this is what's coming out this weekend. So this weekend, of course, we have Alien Romulus. The Union is on Netflix, as is Jackpot on Amazon Prime. Bike Riders is available on Blu-ray, as is If. Twisters is on VOD. Furiosa is on Blu-ray, but is also available on HBO Max right now. I am not going to be renting anything this week because nothing really piques my interest besides potentially Mother's Instinct. Consumed, The King Tide, and Gunner were the ones I was looking at, but no real interest in those to review them. If you have a theater showing The Deliverance, a Netflix horror film with Glenn Close, directed by Lee Daniels, also starring Omar Epps and Anjanou Ellis Taylor. Check that out in theaters. It comes onto Netflix on the 30th, on August 30th, I believe. Netflix does have a new documentary which is being looked at for a Oscar, and that's Daughters. Skincare comes to theaters. I know my good buddy Kyle saw Skincare. I'm gonna have to text him and see what he thought of that one. I'll probably see it when it comes out to streaming. If you have Screambox, We Are Zombies is on there. Netflix also has a new comedy film called I Can't Live Without You. Crescent City with Alec Baldwin. And Terrence Howard is also available on VOD and in some cinemas. Like I already said, Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga is on Max, and that's where I'll be watching it. Probably doing a double feature with Mad Max Fury Road and Furiosa, a Mad Max Saga. I might just do all the Mad Max films. I'm not sure. Coming down here a little bit further, we will be going all the way down here. And next week, we have The Crow, which looks like to be a bomb. Inside Out 2, this is not going to help its potential to beat The Lion King. It's coming to VOD. Blink Twice comes to theaters. I will be having my review of The Killer, as well as The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat, and the brand new Netflix comedy Incoming. Looking at what comes out next weekend, we'll take a quick look at this. In theaters, we have Stream. Looks like it could be a lower budget film. The Cleanup Crew is going to be a action film starring Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Antonio Banderas and Melissa Leo. Who's that from? I'm curious. Who is that from? That is from... It's not going to tell me which studio that's from. Okay, here we go. Coming down here, okay, it is from Saban. So it could be a fun film. It could be all right. Looking down here a little bit further, if you're a fan of the documentaries, we do have Secret Lives of Orangutans. A little bit further down here, there's nothing really coming out next week at all, is there? Huh. Oh well, but just in time for that, we have more coming out. Oh my god! Borderlands is already coming out to VOD on August 29th. It's already coming out 3 weeks. 3 weeks after. Wow. As well as Kinds of Kindness is going to be coming out on VOD, which I will be renting that one, potentially buying or renting that one, because I want to see that one. It's Yorgos Lanthimos. It is Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe, fantastic cast. Can't wait to see that. But also this week, I do have a brand new review for the brand new Hallmark film called A Costa Rican Wedding. And I got a lot more coming to you next week. But that's what's coming out. Stay tuned next week for my reviews of the brand new films The Killer, The Supremes Ariel's All You Can Eat, and Incoming, as well as A Costa Rican Wedding. But that will be coming, well, I'm going to have to do those next Tuesday. I'm not quite sure. But there's that for you guys, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you're new. And as always, I will see you guys next time.
So where did you go?